Hi and welcome back, guys. Hope you're all having a great day out there. We have some things, Justin, I want to talk to you about as it relates to XRP. All I ask is if you do like talking about XRP, click that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Guys, it's been a few days, as I know many of you know that I saw in the community tab, my wife and I, we were out of town in a half marathon this past weekend. We didn't break any world records, as I'm sure you can expect, but we at least completed it, and I'm good with that. But a lot going on with XRP, and I want to talk to you about catalysts coming this month, in the month of May. Because last month, in April, we saw 900 million accumulated from whales. Big institutions, whales out there, buying 900 million worth of XRP. Now, why is this significant? And to give you kind of an idea, in comparison to a normal month, that's about 2 to 5x more than what we see in a normal month. 900 million XRP is of the most we've seen in a few years. Accumulated in a single month is of those biggest months. And so 510 million in a single week, we're talking big numbers. These whales know something big is about to come, and I want to talk to you about that in this video. But first, what's being said, what's being done out there. We've got SEC Commissioner Hester Peirce talking about tokenization here today, stating it could significantly transform financial markets. Now, I know we've heard from BlackRock CEO Larry Fink and other big names out there talking about tokenization, how it's going to touch just about every sector and everything in the world, tokenization. We know that Ripple is putting the XRPL front and center. We see it, our checks and partners like that talking about bringing hundreds of millions on-chain onto the XRP over the next year or two. And the XRP getting a huge sum of the market share. And so as we see things like today happening with the XRPL deep freeze now becoming live, I want to talk to you about why these institutions will choose working with Ripple with the technology XRPL, which utilizes XRP. Well, built for issued tokens, not XRP, is deep freeze. Built for issued tokens to offer essential controls for regulatory compliance, fraud prevention, sanction enforcement, and institutional grade tokenization. This just came live here today. Again, not for XRP, because before we hear haters and fudsters out there talking about XRP being able to be frozen, that's not the case. Buy code cannot be happen. Now, issued tokens from institutions, that is a different scenario. And this is music to institutions' ears. Now, as we talk about institutions out there, let's talk about the IRS. They here today put out 31 tax auditors to quit falling Doge downsizing. I wanted to touch on this real quickly because how does it relate to crypto? Recently, as I was out over the past few days, I heard that the IRS is letting go of 2 directors, crypto enforcement directors. So what are we seeing from these government agencies? Again, Hester Peirce at the SEC talking positively about tokenization and crypto in this market, the IRS downsizing. Now, while we are hearing all this conversation about stablecoin, real world tokenization, and just this entire digital revolution moving forward, I hear a lot of people out there talking about, well, how is XRP specifically tied to it all? Because a lot of people talking about Ripple utilizing technology that doesn't necessarily use XRP. Well, I want to play CTO, Chief Technical Officer David Schwartz right here talking about XRP has a privileged place on the XRPL. Let's listen to it right here.
People are going to have different use cases, different demands and needs. And the XRP has a privileged place on the XRP ledger. Through pathfinding, always looks for XRP liquidity first. The auto bridging causes trades to automatically look at XRP liquidity where they don't automatically look at any other liquidity. So XRP is always going to have a privileged place as a bridge asset on the XRP ledger, and the stablecoin ecosystem is not going to change that. It's just going to enable more use cases.
And so there you hear it for the man, myth, the legend himself, David Schwartz, CTO, who knows this stuff far better than all of us can buy. Now, the part that you came for and want to hear about is dates. May 12th, May 14th, and May 19th. I want to touch on those dates because here today, Eleanor Terrett put out, SEC has announced deets for the 4th Industry Roundtable on Tokenization. Check this out, guys. Who is going to be there? May 12th event will feature 2 panels with participants from BlackRock, FTI US, Fidelity, Apollo Global, Securitize, which is a Ripple partner, and Robinhood. We're talking about big names. Again, what has held us back forever in this market? It is regulatory clarity. We're moving forward. With regulatory clarity, we see XRP absolutely soar. We see these big institutions, big banks utilizing XRP and buying XRP unlike we've ever seen in history. And yes, I do believe a massive move, massive price upward for XRP comes with that. Do we need to wait for regulatory clarity 100% to see XRP move? No. We have other things happening as well. In fact, May 19th, we got XRP Futures CME Group. CME Group records, this came out here today, 129% increase in derivatives volume recently. This just came out of an article. Well, what is playing a major factor in this? They state Ether futures play a major role in its growth. I'm going to link this resource in the description below so you can read through it if you want to as well. But this article talking specifically about institutional interest in micro contracts rising significantly. So yes, that is going to bring institutions, the big money, not the likes of you and I, into XRP in a big way. Now, also with that, here today we saw Ripple pledging $25 million to support U.S. classrooms and teachers. Great to see it. I don't want to go too in depth with this. What it essentially tells us is we're the good guys out there trying to push this digital revolution forward, much more so, and having the funding Ripple does to help push organizations and educators forward, and just in general, really great to see. Now also May 14th, potential XRP ETF Pro shares. All this coming in as, guess what came out here today, guys? Eleanor Tarrant puts out, as I mentioned in Crypto America newsletter this morning, and following our conversation with Republican French Hill last week, we're expecting the discussion draft of the updated market structure bill to drop this week ahead of tomorrow's Financial Committee and House of GOP hearing. So what does this bill do? Bills Fit 21 legislation from last Congress, and at a high level requires digital asset developers to disclose key projects info, provide clear paths for funding under SEC rules and registration with the CFTC, Commodities Future Trading Commission, and defining roles for the SEC and CFTC, and establishing clear registration processes. This is exactly what we need. This is the perfect storm, as we're again just recently seeing 900 million XRP accumulated. These whales know that we are getting extremely close to clarity. Now, here today, I saw Dark Defender, who does technical analysis, put out that XRP is getting ready to finish the correction, is in on the last bit, but will keep an eye on the $2 level. He writes, today I will share the core structure of the 5th monthly wave and split it into 5 sub-waves with you. He says, we project the incoming surge with 5 waves indicated below, and then with the wave 3 and 5. XRP targets are $4.40 and $6.30 in the short term, based off a big move that we could get potentially off the catalyst I just shared with you, and a support at $1.88 if we were to drop. And so we have a lot going on, and again, I appreciate all the support here and staying up on what is happening, because here we go. Periods of stagnant times with XRP and price, right? But what is actually happening? We're getting extremely close to clarity. Tokenization moving forward, much more so than ever, but accumulation of whales behind the scenes, buying up massive amounts of XRP in anticipation of catalysts like what I just shared with you here today. That's all I got for you for now. Again, appreciate all your time and support. If you don't mind clicking that like button, subscribe button, notification bell, we'll see you all in the next one.